Do you want to import a car to the United States from Canada? If you do, then you've come to the right place. Welcome back to our channel, Life with the Jacksons. My name is Leon Jackson, and we are a family that has recently moved about 2.5 years ago from Alberta, Canada, to the Texas Hill Country. Our channel here is all about providing information and insights for folks who are looking to do the same, as well as have some fun along the way, and we post our videos and provide tidbits of information. One of the videos that we have done in the past is about importing a vehicle into the U.S., as we have done that and gone through that process. It has garnered quite a bit of interest, so I figured I would re-up it here and go through that process again for you. So you're going to import a car. Which agencies are responsible to help you go through that process? There are actually about 4 of them, to be honest, here in the United States. The first being the CBP, which is Customs and Border Protection. Ultimately, they're the ones that are going to bring your vehicle or allow your vehicle into the United States, and you would meet them at the border or any port of entry in order to do that process. Second is your EPA. They are the Environmental Protection Agency. Their responsibility is to make sure that your car meets the emission standards of the United States. And I'll show you how you can find information about that later on in the video. Third is the agency called the DOT, or Department of Transportation. There's also another acronym called the NHTSA, which is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Their responsibility is to make sure that your vehicle meets the safety standards outlined in their regulations and whatnot before you import to the U.S. And lastly, of course, will be your state DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles. Depending on where you live, you have to talk with them and deal with them once your car has legally been imported into the United States. So what's the next step? Now you know who the agencies are that you're going to deal with. You have to determine if your car is eligible to be imported into the United States, as not all cars are. We found that out the hard way. My wife's Mercedes GLC 300 Coupe was not eligible to be imported into the U.S. as it was designed and built for the Canadian market, and was not eligible to become into the U.S. So we found that out the hard way. We had to take it back and sell it in Canada. The good news is most Canadian cars are, as they've been built in the U.S., Mexico, or Canada, and they've typically been built for both markets. So that's good news. The best way to go and look is to check the NHTSA eligibility list. Basically, it shows you all of this, the cars that are eligible to be imported into the United States. That's the first place to start. The next place to look is your vehicle itself. Check your door jamb, the driver's side door jamb. There should be a sticker there that says if it meets the federal motor vehicle safety standards. And the next step, also check your EPA. That can be found underneath the hood of your car. There should be a sticker there. If that sticker is there stating the EPA requirements, then typically your car has already met the emission standard. Because that sticker is available, you don't have to go through any more digging on that. Your car is eligible to be imported based on the EPA emission standards. So now you've figured out that your car is eligible to be imported. What do you do next? How do you prepare when you go to the border? What things do you need to bring with you? Your title, your registration, Canadian registration, your bill of sale is a requirement. Typically, if you're bringing it at a land crossing, the CBSA, which is the Canada Border Services Agency, likes to know 72 hours ahead of time that you are exporting your vehicle and importing it into the United States. So, not saying there'd be any issues if you forget to notify them about that, but it's a good heads up. Hey, heads up, we're coming across the border and moving to the U.S. and exporting a vehicle from Canada. So please let them know. They like to have 72 hours notice. Check for your recalls. If you have outstanding recalls, it's always a good idea to get those recalls taken care of before you export and before you import into the U.S. Again, I'm not saying it would be an issue, but it's always good to have everything clear and free when you are importing into the U.S. And then lastly, make sure your car is fully insured for that trip down to the U.S. It's always good to have proof of insurance with you. And typically most people would already have that. So now you have all your ducks in a row on the Canadian side, and now you're driving down to the border and you're going to be entering at a port of entry into the United States. What do they require? There's several things similar to the Canadian side. Obviously your registration, your bill of sale, that kind of information. And there's some forms that are required. One of them is an HS-7 form, which is basically a declaration that I am importing the car into the United States. The next form is an EPA form. It's a 3520-1. Basically, it's a form stating that, yes, my vehicle meets the EPA standards with regards to emissions. Also, as I mentioned in the recall issue, it's good to have that clearance letter stating that all recalls have been taken care of prior to arrival at the border. Once you're there, you present your documentation to the CBP, and then they will inspect the vehicle, have a look at it, and ultimately, if everything checks out, the CBP will provide you with an entry form called 7501. So you'll have to keep all those documents together with you as you go on to the next step. So now you have your 7501 form. Your car is legally entitled to be brought into the United States. What's next? Governments always like their fees. There's always going to be small fees somewhere. Some fees, import fees, could be as high as 2.5% on the purchase price of your vehicle. But typically, if the vehicles were made in the U.S. under the USMCA, which is, formerly the NAFTA agreement, there would be no import duties on a vehicle bringing it into certain countries. And again, here in the U.S., we never had to pay an import duty when we imported our vehicle. Some other fees, if you decide to go with a broker, to alleviate the headaches of paperwork and stuff like that, that's a fee to take into account. And then obviously the fee, once you're into the U.S. and you're dealing with your state DMV, there will be fees there to register your vehicle. So keep that stuff in mind. So now what's your next steps? You have your forms from the CBP. They've allowed the vehicle to be imported into the United States. Next step is to deal with your state DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles. You would go and see them, bring all the documents with you, your bill of sale, proof of insurance, the 7501 form from the CBP, the HS-7 form, the 3520-1 form, all forms that you have that you had to use to import the vehicle. You will now present those at your DMV office in the state that you will be residing in. More than likely, you'll have to get a state inspection done, which is pretty easy. They don't do a lot of stuff. Some states might require that you upgrade the cluster as they require miles only. And obviously in Canada, they'll have kilometers on a lot of the vehicles that you're importing. So just keep that in mind. That is a possibility. You'll pay the registration fees or whatever applicable fees that your state will charge you. They'll provide you with a title, which is different than Canada. We call it a registration. And then obviously a license plate that you will then place on your vehicle, and your vehicle will be legal to drive in whatever state you're planning to live in. So that's pretty much it, folks. Overall, the process is not overly difficult to do. It just takes a little bit of legwork, gathering the documents and whatnot, and determining if you are eligible to import your vehicle into the U.S. Ultimately, we had a lot going on when we made the move to the U.S. as we were moving our family and our belongings. We ended up using a customs broker to do the import process for us. I'll share their information down below in the description. I'll also provide a link down below that you can click on, sign up and get, that itemizes the information that is required in order to import a vehicle into the United States. Hope this video helps. If you have any comments or have done that in the past, please drop them on our channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We look forward to connecting with you. Let this life be your best life. Until next time, take care.